Captain. I yield back.
Thank you. Next will be Mr. Westerman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you to the witnesses for being here today. I know that a lot of the members on our side are my fellow colleagues on the House Natural Resources Committee. We had another hearing this morning, but we're back here in full force. And I look forward to working again on the reauthorization. And I was here in the last Congress under Chairman Schuster that reauthorized the FFA or FAA. And I know that there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and also know that both Chairman Graves's, full committee Chairman Graves and the subcommittee Chairman Graves have placed a strong emphasis on general aviation, which is important to my state and to my district. And Mr. Bolter, I know that you're not in the air traffic control, or not an air traffic control specialist, and I'm hoping you can pass this along and have a colleague in the air traffic office follow up with me. I have a small airport in Mena, Arkansas. You may have heard of that. There was a movie made about it. It has a major problem with air traffic control. When planes dip below 4,000 feet, pilots lose contact with the Memphis Air Route Traffic Control Center. The folks at Mena have been trying to get a repeater installed so that the pilots aren't flying blind into the airport, but they haven't met with any success. We know that general aviation is critical to rural economies and small airports, and safety is always of paramount importance. I've spent more time than I probably needed to, or obviously not as much as I guess I need to, but more than you would think, traveling to sites on top of mountains where these repeaters could be located, visiting with officials, and so far we've just been able to get nowhere. And coming from with an engineering background, this seems just atrocious. It should be easy to do, not that expensive, and should have been done a long time ago. So I'd like to know what the FAA's plan is to provide RAG coverage from the western edge of Memphis ARTCC to places like Mena that are currently cut off from radio contact due to mountains and other physical topography.
I certainly know Mr. Rell pretty well, and I know my team's here taking notes, so we will have Mr. Rell get back to you, who runs the air traffic organization. I've flown into Mena myself, and I understand the issues with being able to pick up air route, the center from Mena.
I'm not going to ask what you were flying into Mena for, but
I was actually dropping an airplane off for the paint shop there. I don't know if it's still in business, but it was many years ago. I dropped a Convair in there for paint.
it wasn't a black airplane in the 90s.
No, it was not. We did full daylight.
So, as you know, my understanding is when a pilot gets ready to take off from Mena, they have to get on their cell phone and call air traffic control. And there's also not the greatest cell phone coverage over there. So, I know that's just a frustration I see in one airport in my district. I know there must be others around the country. So I appreciate you passing that message along, and I look forward to working on the reauthorization of the bill. And Mr. Chairman, I'm going to yield back 1 minute and 27 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. Westerman. We will now have Mr. Auchincloss. You have